that they would want the resolution to be written from as such the one that I referred to when we went through that previous resolution. So that's where we go back, I have here, and I can say that we need background, and this is what I
To
would
be
refer to
included
the
in
district,
resolution.
district office. I'll send a little email to him.
So you believe there's enough signatures because there's.
Okay, so
there's
enough
not-
signatures is also where the signatures are coming from, they're directly from that street.
Okay,
It's only one building though.
okay.
So this
One
is
address?
where-
They're coming from one address?
So that's where we then go back and request, there has to be multiple addresses, cause it can't
Exactly.
just be one building that knows that this is happening, because it
Right.
affects multiple buildings,
Absolutely.
also commercial spaces.
They would,
Absolutely.
they would, do what they're trying to do greater justice if they get signatures
Absolutely.
beyond that address.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Because then it looks like a tenant association president bringing.
Right.
Yeah, versus a community leader. You understand what I'm saying? So they probably have reach to others, but didn't take that opportunity to do it sometimes because it's easier just to.
You just go here.
And if they,
Yeah.
does the application say you need 10 or more signatures?
It says, 50%, 60% of the block.
Now,
Right.
now, is that 50 or something like that of the block? Because some of those blocks are empty like
can't
that.
be-
That's
That's
the
the
issue.
issue. That's the issue.
That's why she's saying it might be okay.
It
because
might
of
be
the
okay,
nature.
so what
Right.
I would have to do now
Right.
is
No, no, no.
Google the block to look at the addresses on the map. I
But,
didn't get a chance
but do
to
you
do
have
that.
contact information for the people that are leading this effort?
So
Like a
the
phone number?
contact-
Yes.
But you can
Yes.
call them and just
Absolutely.
see if through the phone conversation.
Right, so it's
They-
here, I made sure to.
Do you have
figure out
another
exactly.
agenda?
So what
Is there
I'm
another
gonna do
agenda?
is then refer these notes to the district office.
There's no
and they
agenda?
follow up
She
on
has to
it.
read it. We'll get it in a minute.
So that's the current situation with this. Next one, Fanny Pennington Way, that's Mr. Harper Reed. And he pretty much has the whole city signed, as you can see, he does his homework. It's not the first Konami he comes here with. Now, so what I provided was just one copy of this, but I didn't have the time to do this one, but this is where the resolution language will come from. He has a detailed, because he's a writer, there's a detailed, description of historically, chronological details of this person. Some of them, everything can't be included, but there's a lot in there.
There is.
And then he has, how do you say, like, actual list of what he provided. So the
And that
application,
provided meaning
this
what?
is his cover. So this is not the cover letter that we request, the cover application. This is him saying, this is the tally. It's almost like, footnotes of all the
The sources.
information, where he got the sources, and also who are the businesses that are supporting the letters that he's providing. That's this list.
Right.
Okay. So the good thing about this is that it's rich
It's very rich.
with stuff that's
Right.
relevant.
Right.
And therefore, it allows for some creativity in terms of pulling out what one might consider the best stuff, and not being offensive, because
Right.
it's all good, you know.
Absolutely.
And it's a lot, and it's impossible to do all.
Right.
But I think it provides a lot of opportunity, a lot of flexibility, so that
Right.
you can
And
create.
Maria focuses on.
Question number 8, where, it says West 123rd Street, where? Do we know?
Right, so that's what I didn't know.
Yeah,
So I wanted to ask him because it's vague.
yeah.
Who is him again?
It's Grant Harper Reed.
Oh, man.
With glasses.
You know
Yeah, I
who
know
he
Grant.
is. You know who he is.
He's
So
been around.
the two things that I would have to do is go back to Grant and ask Grant for the actual location, because he's giving me West 123rd and Northeast corner of what cross street, right? So I need to ask him that because it's not written here. And then the next thing is that, no, that would be it. Because he provides a ton of documentation.
So that's a great creative opportunity.
So what are we missing?
You know what I mean? It's,
Well, the
Yeah.
address, like where?
The
He didn't
address?
just-
what corner?
He's just giving us 123rd Street, West 123rd Street.
And he
Okay,
didn't
got it.
use our application, he put a letter together.
I got it.
So it's enough, because he's got all the details on
He
the
just didn't tell
letter.
us exactly where he
He
wants it.
just doesn't say
What,
exactly.
up at four
It
corners?
says located on
Right,
West
yeah.
123rd Street and northeast corner, where
Oh.
she resided
that could
and
be-
that's-
mounted
From Fifth Avenue
her
to,
many initiatives.
West 123rd northeast corner. What's her address?
That's all it says.
No, what is the deceased address?
So he doesn't provide that information?
'Cause I would-
That's why I'm like, what is it
it could
going
be from Fifth to St.
Yeah,
Nick.
that's over, but I'm trying to remember where.
Okay, wait. You're right. It says in another letter, Fanny Pennington lived at 540 Manhattan Avenue,
There you go.
on 123rd Street, so it's Manhattan Avenue.
Yeah, 'cause
That
we-
narrows it.
Yeah, our board goes to, that side, to the.
East side of,
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
so,
So,
Okay.
as per what we have here, I would have to develop the resolution, then we would do the vote again. So I would like to develop the resolution before the executive committee meeting, does that
Yes.
sound right?
Yes.
Mauricio and I are gonna look at that
Sure.
together, which is for October. So we'll look at this week. So that's the status of this one. The next one. Pastor Brownway. This one is missing a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm hoping that somehow maybe it was left in, the file here or something, because it's missing the signatures and the application. I have a very condensed, this is what I got. So it's almost like a pamphlet of copies of things, but there's no application with it, it's missing everything.
And what we,
That
yeah,
we
this
usually
gets to your
ask.
point about we need to, have the office electronically,
Correct.
put them, because you know,
Yeah.
this can just be on people's emails and we can,
Yes,
is it here, is it
and
not here?
just checklist, boom, 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 boom,
Right.
and then go back to
This
them
is
and,
a little, this is a little old school.
Exactly, well, this is.
I get it. I understand. It's just easier for, right?
Right, right.
do we have a scanner?
Excuse me?
Do we have a scanner?
see, this is, okay.
Okay.
So that's
think?
that's the
You know,
situation.
I don't know, you know, in the past, this whole street naming stuff was kind of touchy.
Right.
You know what I mean? But, so the board and, or the rest of us who might have something to do with it, either as sponsors or whatever, tended to wanna be a little, careful.
Right.
Because, anybody and everybody can apply.
Right.
And, but I think we still should, be careful, selective. I don't, but I also know that timing is, things are changing. If we don't get it done now, you understand what I'm saying? So I just, and I don't know what the future holds, but I do know that the folks that have earned this kind of attention that we're giving, that we're acknowledging, we're not on the Late Show by any means, but I'm just saying we're gonna try to do as much of this as possible that's realistic and that's, all those other kind of good reasons, because the times are changing.
Right.
Right. Understood.
So yeah, the committee met, several months, last year to evaluate the process, to make sure, to be stringent about the requests and also to tally, at some point, there's gonna be a saturation point if you have all of the streets coming, but so we're trying to make sure to track what we're doing and to also be,
Let me ask you a question on the notion of saturation.
uh-huh.
Is there a definition of like that the city or, has in mind in terms of street renamings? You understand what I'm trying to say?
So like saying, oh, 80% is saturated or 100% is saturated, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, how is saturation defined in terms of the numbers and how they should be distributed?
So
you understand what I'm trying to say?
we
Let's
just-
assume we have X number of potential sites.
Right.
Like every site, let's say, is available. How much of that, when does saturation
Yeah,
begin?
yeah.
Like if you want everyone changed,
Right.
is that called saturation? Or what, is there a definition for saturation?
So there is no formal definition of saturation that I'm aware of, but we brought it up as a concept to really take seriously. That was one point, and the other point was to understand that having a ceremonial process might be very important as well, to request that the formal maps of New York City be changed and how that would impact emergency vehicle, finding a location was also a conversation that we were having. So those are the 2 points that we were really hashing out before the summer came through, to think about that and to
That's
perhaps also have that as a criteria for why certain things cannot be placed where they're asked to be placed.
Sure. So I appreciate that, I think there's I guess this is the community board is looking at what is appropriate and so on and so forth, and I think that's important, and I especially think it's important that there be some sort of public discussion about it, so that it doesn't get to a place where because I'm senator, I get 10 blocks of choices.
Right.
You understand? I'm being a little facetious
No,
about
I
it because
understand.
but I just hope folks understand it. This gets to these, as you know better than most. This is a touchy thing, and at
that's
some
what we're
point
working on.
somebody says no more,
Right,
and then somebody says, really? Who said so?
exactly.
That's why we're gonna vote on our own process.
On our own
On
process.
how we deal with this, because we're
But
seeing the same.
I think it should be has some public aspect to it, only from the perspective of we've been rich with the opportunity of having amongst us folks worthy, right? But how do we do this? Do we do every poll?
Right.
Do we? And there needs to, if there's a discussion about it, no matter what you conclude, it's better. You understand?
Right.
Especially a public discussion. The reason I like the idea of public discussion is I like when people argue. And people come forward and
Make
give
their
their
case.
and make a case and feel like you gotta know we're not gonna do it, but you feel a little better that you had an opportunity to share it.
Right.
That's what I'm talking
No,
about. But I think it's a
agree.
wonderful opportunity to have that kind of discussion, because you're gonna find a lot of passion and a lot of really honest to goodness community concern coming out. But people are gonna rationalize, this is a good, how do I feel about my community moment? And who is worthy and who, not, there are many more worthy than we're gonna be able to put up.
Right.
That's, 'cause
Period. Right.
there's many more worthy than we'll even know, because some of the most worthy people are those unknown, local, block tenant, nobody type that are doing stuff that every once in a while we run into and say, gee, it'd be nice to do something for them,
Right.
kind of thing. So I'm just saying that as we do this, I think it would probably be good to just think through some of how much opportunity do we really have, and how much of it can we actually implement realistically, and how.
Right. So,
Like, you don't want a whole bunch of signs up with just men.
Right. Which is, I mean, we should find out in the city council, for example, in our district, where are we on this? How many?
So the
do
question
we
was
know?
asked, and I also asked for a tally of the mapping of these co-namings that already exist.
Very
Right.
good.
So I need help to get that followed up on.
Okay.
Didn't we figure something out that we have We're one of the neighborhoods, at least in Manhattan. We gotta be up there as far as.
No, I mean, I needed an actual map with
Or you wanna see
locations
locations?
and the